Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Kramer.
We got a simple step for you. That means under 5 minutes. This one actually is a longer topic that I feel like we could do a whole episode on.
Yeah.
So it's going to be challenging, and I just took the first 30 seconds. Aaron Kramer, what are we talking about?
We're going to talk about the tortoise and the hare.
Why?
Yeah. Why? So I feel like when you were starting a business,
yes,
everybody wants to be the hare.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be the hare. I'm sorry. You start off like thinking you're going to be the hare. You're just going to take off.
Yep.
But it's so important to think, okay, well, who ends up winning in the long run? Being slow and steady.
Yeah.
Slow and steady and consistent.
Yeah.
Because that wins at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's always like cool things that are happening when you first start a business.
Yeah.
And it thinks like, oh, this is how it'll always be. That is not the case. And it is a trap, I would say, to think that you can always have these type of euphoric, exciting things happen for the rest of your career.
Right.
And so slowing down and like really focusing on the things to make things sustainable, I think is the play, as you could see in the tortoise and the hare. That's why we named it that.
Yeah. So a good example here is, you know, I've shared in the past on the podcast, like I'm dyslexic, so I don't like reading.
Right.
I'll listen to books, but if I'm reading a book, it's for a purpose. Mm-hmm. It's not for leisure. So never in my wildest mind would I've ever been sitting down with people and think that I've read way more books than anybody. Uh-huh. But lately I've been sitting around and I tell people like I read about 12 to 14 books a year. That's not including what I listen to. That's just what I read.
Wow.
And so, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've read a lot of books. And I talk to other like super smart people because this is our career. Our job's hard. Like we have to know a lot about a lot. And so you're constantly be learning. Yeah. And I've known a guy before and I told him, recently when I came over, like I had mentioned one of my goals was to read 100 financial books, right? That's what I was working on.
And you've tracked it.
I've been tracking it. So, and I'm over, I think I tipped over halfway.
Wow. 50.
Yeah. So like, but I remember like, somebody on our team was like, why would you ever want to do that? You know, and this person was really smart. You know, I found him to be a very high IQ kind of guy.
Right.
But as we got talking, it was like, I know more than you.
Yeah.
You know, but like, again, I was a tortoise. It takes me a long time to read a book. Yeah. I got to spend a lot of time on it. Right. I consume the knowledge, but like, it takes me longer to consume the knowledge because I read so slow. Yeah. Being dyslexic. Yeah. But I've never stopped.
There's something about doing something over and over in repetition in a slow, methodical way that's a little bit more enjoyable than like, and we got it done quick. Like,
yeah.
There was, if anybody's ever played pickleball, my buddy, best friend, Eric Baker, shout out to you, whoop, whoop, play pickleball together, and he is so disciplined and patient.
Yeah.
Pickleball is about like very small little hits, which like for me, I'm more Hare type, ingrained in me. I just want to hit it hard. Yeah. And that's not the play. And so, but I will say, like, when you get a point because you've been slow and patient, there is some kind of like satisfaction that you don't get by just ripping one bicep. Like, that's fun too. But for the most part, a sustainable way to achieve something does feel like you can enjoy it even more.
Even more.
Yes. And so I would say too, in like financial, like when you're thinking about finances, thinking about like, people just don't win the lottery.
No.
It is one decision over time in repetition, slow, methodical, will win the race every time.
Yeah.
So, they call it dollar cost averaging.
Yep.
That's basically tortoise and the hare kind of stuff.
It's like Warren Buffett talks about that. Like, why does nobody ever talk about the stock market? Because everybody can win in the stock market. Everybody. Like, guaranteed, this is the one thing that hasn't changed over time or since 1940. We have enough proof. But, like, why doesn't everybody talk about it? Warren Buffett, I love he said this because it's not sexy. Mm-hmm. It's the tortoise.
Right. And there has to be some kind of compliance thing about saying guaranteed in the market. But here's the deal.
Well, I'm saying like winning, like gaining money over time.
I do think there is something about the methodicalness that he nails.
Yeah.
Like, and Warren Buffett, it's not sexy,
No.
but repetitive things over time is the key to success.
Yes.
The success that I want.
Yep.
Because I don't want to win the lottery. Because I feel like you circumvent some of the hardest challenges that you can have in the grind. And I'm preaching to myself a little bit here.
Yeah.
Like focus on having joy in the small things.
Yes.
And letting the end result be what it is, but finding joy right now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Be the tortoise.
That's your simple step.
Yeah.
I love
Be
it.
the tortoise, slow down, but be consistent. Just don't stop. Keep pushing.
Come on. All right. You've been listening to Uncommon Wealth Podcast. I've been your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Kramer.
Until next time, go be a tortoise.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.